What's up, everybody? This is Dave Thompson around the Association, the podcast, and this is the restricted free agent edition of the show. This is a nice, wonderful Saturday afternoon as we're talking about day number 2 of Summer League. There's 2 games going on right now, and I'll get to Summer League. I'm actually writing an article on the 2 Summer Leagues that happened out in Sacramento and the one in Salt Lake City, which I'm working on now. And like I said, there'll be a Summer League article coming out about Las Vegas once Vegas is completed sometime next week. So we're talking restricted free agents here on the show today because a lot of time on the pod today, because at this time in free agency, after a lot of the guys who are unrestricted free agents have been signed, this becomes part of the year where restricted free agents become signed and offer sheets come out. And there's a common misconception about a lot of things when it comes to the restricted free agency game. So I wanted to do a podcast to actually talk about some of the things that go along with that. Don't mind the dinghy noise in the background. That's just my cell phone going off. But so let me explain how the restricted free agency works. And when you're a restricted free agent, it is someone has to the team has the option of giving you the qualifying offer. And if you accept it, you become an unrestricted free agent the next summer, or the team that has the rights to the player can match any contract offer that comes on the table. Now, the good thing about restricted free agency most years is that teams are willing to throw offer sheets at players. You look at offer sheets in the last few years. Otto Porter got a humongous offer sheet last year from the Brooklyn Nets, and he signed it. There was, actually, Sean Marks was notorious for this one because Marks did this last couple summers. He got Tyler Johnson in a poison pill situation with the Heat where, they signed him for almost $50 million, but the majority of it was over the final 2 seasons of the contract. And that's what happens with restricted free agency. When teams want to sign a player, put the offer on the table, and to see if another team matches it. Unfortunately, this summer, just kind of like regular free agency, there wasn't a market because there wasn't that many teams with the actual cap space to even make, significant offers or to force teams to play their hand. So let's look. I said some of the restricted free agents still on the board include Clint Capella, Houston's big man that had a transcending season, Jabari Parker out in Milwaukee. Zach LaVine's offer sheet went up yesterday, and that was matched by the Bulls. Kyle Anderson has an offer sheet out there from Memphis. You still have guys on the board that are restricted. Just giving a few off the head. Like I said, I mentioned Capella. There's Jabari Parker. There's Marcus Smart. Among other players that have restricted free agency sitting over their head. So how does this work? Well, number one, the team that is going to make the offer sheet has to have cap space. Right now, in the league right now that has significant cap space, there's little to next to nobody that has cap space left. There is Atlanta, Sacramento, and the Chicago Bulls all have significant cap space left. So your teams that have spent all their money this summer, Indiana, who made a lot of moves, the Lakers still have a little bit of cap space left if they want to make any moves. Like New Orleans, Houston, Oklahoma City, a lot of the contending teams, Boston, don't have the significant cap space to make an offer to a restricted free agent. And so this doesn't play into the hands of the actual player because if there is no market, the team controls just about everything. Marcus Smart is learning this the hard way. I know in the reports that said Marcus Smart is not happy with his situation with Boston because Boston has not really came to the table to make a significant offer. And if you're Boston, why would you? I mean, if you look at Utah gave Dante Exum, and I think Dante Exum is a good basketball player, but they gave Dante Exum 3 years at $33 million. That is a significant number for a guy that I don't think would have got $11 million a season on the market from a restricted offer. I was thinking Exum would be right around that mid-level range, around $8.8 million, 8.1, $8.2 million that is going on with the mid-level exception, or in some cases even the $5.3 million. The Jazz invested $11 million in him over the next 3 seasons. If you look at Memphis, what their offer with Kyle Anderson is that they use the entire mid-level exception for the next 4 years, and they're going to be hard capped because of it if the Spurs don't match it. That's why they're able to give him $37 million over 4 years. Kind of the same thing with, and other free agents I'll get to maybe later on this podcast if we do, but we're talking restricted. So there's not very many teams to make offers that can do that. Now, like I said, unless you have cap space or you have guys to renounce, the Lakers can go out and make a significant offer because they still have the Luol Deng contract. They have not stretched provisions yet. If they decide to stretch provision and let him go, that would give the Lakers a little bit more cap space to maybe go out and get one of the restricted free agents and to see if an offer gets matched. Zach LaVine's case yesterday, the Sacramento Kings went out and offered him $78 million over 4 years. And the Bulls matched it. But mind you, with the restricted free agent, the offer sits on the board for 4 days. Even if a team matches it, they can't make an offer for 4 days. So the Kings right now can't do anything for the next couple days. Well, really, this market, nobody's really doing anything right now. So we're kind of at a standstill. That's why the Rockets really haven't gotten far with Clint Capella. And the worst thing that can happen for a restricted free agent is that, guess what? They will take the qualifying offer for 1 year, and then at that point, they're not hamstringed to being a cap hold next year. That's why the Magic and Aaron Gordon, Magic fans, some Magic fans were kind of upset with the number Aaron Gordon got, was the significant number that was actually really good, not just for Gordon, but for both sides. Aaron had said he wanted to be a max player at exit interviews even back in April. He was expecting hoping that the Magic would offer him a max deal. Jeff Weltman played the hand the same way that the previous management did with Tobias Harris. Go find you a contract offer. If somebody's willing to give you the money, then come back. We'll find out, and then we got 48 hours to figure out if we're going to go ahead and put the money down on the table. Well, the major offer would have came from Indiana, who was really interested in Aaron Gordon at one time, but then Thaddeus Young opted into the contract to his $13 million, and when he opted in, that took kind of a team away from them, and then they used their mid-level on Doug McDermott, so on and so forth. Dallas would have thought about Aaron Gordon if DeAndre Jordan wouldn't have signed or Julius Randle wouldn't have signed, because those two options would have been there if DeAndre Jordan didn't take the money to go to Dallas. The only other team that really could have made Aaron Gordon an offer would have been the Los Angeles Lakers. But remember, they went out and got LeBron James. I don't think with adding LeBron James was Aaron Gordon going to be the second guy that was going to make a significant offer. So at that point, the number sat there. Aaron Gordon sat there. Well, Gordon had to figure out something, and Aaron Gordon signed his deal yesterday, which was not $84 million. Josh Robbins of the Orlando Sentinel, I think, reported at $78 million. And the contract is front-loaded. So Gordon gets more of his money up front, and the team takes less of a cap hit over the next 3 years. So the number Aaron Gordon got was significantly lower than what he asked for. So Magic fans, Aaron got what he wanted. He got more money up front, but the cap number was not the same. Aaron Gordon at $145 million is a lot different than Aaron Gordon at $75 to $76 million. It's a complete difference in the salary cap. It's a complete different number. So instead of getting Aaron Gordon $30 million, you're giving him less than $20. And I think everybody is happy in that situation, especially Magic fans. And the most important person who's happy is the salary cap. The Magic, are not deeper into the tax than they were, or deeper into the salary cap situation than they would have been if Gordon would have signed for $30 million. So that's the good thing about restricted free agency for these teams that have the restricted free agents, is the fact of you don't have to set the market. You let everybody else set the market, and then at that point, once they set the market, then you make the decision. Now, in some cases, restricted free agents get signed, and guess what? Deals get matched. Otto Porter's deal got matched, and Washington's paying Otto Porter almost max money because Brooklyn made the offer sheet. Sacramento made the offer sheet. Sacramento or Brooklyn made him the offer sheet 2 years ago, last season. You look at, like I said, Tyler Johnson was another guy. Brooklyn, I know Brooklyn for that one made the offer sheet out to him. There was a lot of restricted free agents that didn't get offers until the last couple of days. Yusuf Nurkic out in Portland, he got a $48 million deal. His agent was expecting more money. And that's the thing when it comes to restricted free agency. These restricted free agents want more money, but the team that has his rights don't have to worry about taking on additional cap space, because at this point, it's on the market. Now, next summer's restricted free agents in the class will have a little bit more say-so, and they'll make a little bit more money, because next summer, most teams will have money next summer to make significant offers. They're going to be, I think, without really looking at, I know there's going to be at least 4 or 5 teams that are going to have at least a max cap space or even more. I know definitely both New York teams will definitely have them. Brooklyn and New York, the Knicks will have them. The Lakers will have it because they'll have everybody they sign for 1 year deals off the books. I think Chicago is going to have significant cap space. Cleveland will have some good cap space next year once Kevin Love's contract comes off the books. And then I think at that point they can stretch provision Tristan Thompson if needed. You look at Boston will have Kyrie Irving's situation, but there'll be teams. Orlando will be another team that can have some significant money next summer because some of those contracts come off the books. There'll be teams that have cap space. And that's the most important thing. So when these offers for restricted free agencies come out next summer, guys are going to opt out. There's Paul Millsap's deal in Denver. He can opt out, for example. I'm not saying he will, but he's another guy that can opt out and be a free agent and be back in the pool. So when you look at restricted free agency next year compared to this year, it's going to be a little bit different. So I know there are teams that say, hey, well, if player X got this, let's go after him. It doesn't work that way. So Marcus Smart, Clint Capella, Jabari Parker, whoever is, like I said, those are the main guys left on the restricted free agency market. They're just going to have to chill out for now. I mean, I know Capella wants more money, and really he's playing in the hands of the Rockets right now. And a lot of times when you wait too long, these guys will sign the qualifying offer, and these agents will remember that. They'll remember that so-and-so, that this team did not sign my guy when they had a chance to. They lowballed him. I mean, look at, for example, Nikola Jokic out in Denver. The Nuggets declined the offer on him because he was at $1.5 million. They paid him this summer. They gave him the money that he was expecting. He got a max deal this summer. So there are times where the restricted free agency is good, and there's times where it just doesn't work the way that you want it to. So you have to be really careful with restricted free agents in the NBA because of the fact of the guys who are stuck restricted-wise, they can't do anything right now. And when you can't do anything, it's kind of like, okay, well, you're waiting on somebody to give you an offer. And like I said, when there's nobody with offers on the board, it becomes a bad situation for, it's not a bad situation, but the guys who are expecting to get paid won't get paid. And like I said, for right now, Marcus Smart, he can go out there trying to find an offer somewhere. Some team might make a trade for him, but who knows? But at this point in the game right now, when you're restricted, there's nothing you can do about it right now. There's nothing you can do. Some of the major guys left on the board, Clint Capella, Jabari Parker, Levine just signed yesterday. Nurkic. Yeah, like I said, there's not too many restricted free agents left in the market. Marcus Smart, but like I said, those ones that are restricted just have to wait. They have to wait till somebody either makes an offer. Like I said, Rodney Hood's one of those guys who's restricted from Cleveland. Now, I'm sure the Cavs would love to bring Rodney Hood back, but hopefully nobody puts Rodney Hood in a situation where that number is a lot higher than what it is. So that's the explanation for restricted free agency right now. The best way I can explain it to people is that, it's the waiting game. It's a complete waiting game for these guys going forward in the league. But for those who are asking for Marcus Smart, for Jabari Parker, Clint Capella, among others, it's the waiting game. Marcus Smart's just going to have to play the game out. And I think if Marcus Smart's agent's smart, ironically, if you can't find an offer by next week, just go ahead and take the qualifying offer. And then just know that you'll be an unrestricted free agent next summer. And I'm sure Danny Ainge will make that decision what to do with Marcus Smart next summer because Danny Ainge does hold the cards here. He still has Terry Rozier and he still has Kyrie Irving to deal with. If the Celtics can just run it back for one more year, Danny Ainge will make all the right decisions when it comes to guys. If Kyrie Irving walks out the door, that'll be Marcus Smart's job right then and there. Otherwise, I don't see Sacramento making Marcus Smart an offer. I know because you have De'Aaron Fox, and they're already good at the guard position. You still have Buddy Yield, you have Bogdanović at the guard position. But once the period is over, I can see the Kings going after Jabari Parker. That's a good fit because right now on the wing, it's just Justin Jackson right now. Justin Jackson has been playing really well in Summer League. I think he played in California. I think his last 2 games out in Sacramento in the California Classic. He had over 20 points in both games. So Jackson can score the basketball, but we'll have to see what kind of development he has. And I think the Kings are going to take a really deep look into that over the next couple days out in Las Vegas before they potentially put an offer sheet out there. They could offer the same offer sheet for Parker as they did for Levine and see if the Bucks are going to match it. And if the Bucks don't match it, they don't match it. But they offered $78 million. They can potentially offer the same type of deal for Jabari Parker. But that fit would be perfect for that team. I don't see the Kings making an offer for Clint Capella at this point because you still have Marvin Bagley. You want to see what you have with Willie Cauley-Stein. At that position, you have Lebesere. And Harry Giles has been looking really spiry in the very first part of summer league, and you got to think they traded for Giles last year, the draft choice to get him. So they want to see what they have in Harry Giles. Like I said, Giles was the number 1 player in high school 2 years ago. So I don't see Atlanta making any moves because Atlanta is all about the youth movement, and they don't want to tie up their cap. And really, Jabari Parker doesn't fit because they still have Taurean Prince on the wing on one side. They have John Collins in the paint on the other side, and Capella can't play the 4. And Collins is as solid as he's been. I don't see Collins being, that type of player to play the 4. So I don't see any of the restricted free agents to make a move. And really, Marcus Smart doesn't fit there because they just drafted Trae Young and don't even know what they're going to do with Dennis Schroeder. So sad part for restricted free agents, last before I drop off the show, is the fact of there is not a market for restricted free agents right now. And so these guys expecting these big contracts, you're going to see a lot of guys taking a lot of less money. And so when you say Zach LaVine got $78 million, DeMarcus Cousins only got 6.1 or 5.3, there is a difference. DeMarcus Cousins was an unrestricted free agent. Zach LaVine was restricted. The Bulls just waited for an offer. DeMarcus Cousins' situation was DeMarcus was waiting on an offer from somebody else. So you can't compare Zach LaVine's $78 million to DeMarcus Cousins' contract, because it's two different type of contract situations. And it makes things a little bit different. So that's what's going on in restricted free agency. So there'll be another pod coming up. I'm probably record another one today, catching you guys up on free agency. Like I said, I'm working on the Summer League articles. There will be a YouTube show tonight where I'll discuss what I saw in Summer League over the first 2 days, since every team will have one game under the standings by the end of end of games tonight, which will be late night on the East Coast. The last game is 11:30 Eastern time tonight, so I'll try to get on YouTube probably sometime late tonight, and so everybody can catch it in the morning. So follow the page, which is aroundtheassociation.com. Like I said, I'm trying to get the site back up and running. It was down for a couple days. Sorry about that. It's under maintenance, trying to get everything completed. Follow the show on iHeartRadio as well as Spreaker. I think we're on iTunes as well too. Around the Association, the podcast. Also subscribe to it. Pass along to all your friends and let everybody know about the NBA, because this is one of our favorite times of the year. And Summer League is going on as we're having this as this podcast is being recorded. So that's my take on restricted free agency and what I see going on around the league. So hit me up on Twitter, NBADT29, and we'll catch you guys later on the flip side.